Hello, everyone. Maryann here from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality. How are you, wherever you are in the world when you're watching? A huge shout out to you. If I'm sounding a bit nasally, it's because I have a head cold. I went out riding very early yesterday morning in the frost. I'm pretty sure there was a -degree involved somewhere there, and I just got chilled through. The usual meaning of a cold. I actually caught a cold from being cold. However, I'm feeling pretty good, so no problems there. It's just the run of the mill. In Australia, we have something called Lemsip, and that's got Panadol and lemon in it, and that's what I'm drinking at the moment. I'm rugged up, I'm warm, everything is fine. So I have a lot to get through today. Seems like I say that every time. Every time I launch a video. This one's a little bit different. I will get to the mainstream topics in the US of the Supreme Court Judge Alito, and I will look at the New York trial for Trump again. We'll check on conviction. But bear in mind, even if he's convicted on one or more of those counts, he will appeal that, and it will take time to go through the system. I think I said that the prosecution is resting with Cohen. What I meant by that is that they don't intend at this stage to call in any more witnesses after Cohen. So then it'll be thrown over to the defense. We'll see what happens there. I don't think Trump is going to testify, and I don't think the presidential debates that I spoke about last week are going to go ahead either. But I think we'll see a fairly speedy conclusion to this trial, to his New York trial this week. But more into what I want to talk about today. Where do I start? Okay, I'm going to start by July. On July 15th, transiting Uranus and Mars conjunction, extremely heavy hitting conjunction, is going to square Trump's natal conjunction, natal Mars. And so it is thought, some astrologers who have looked into this are thinking that this could portend something fairly major for Trump. Now, I want to say that astrology isn't on its own predictive. You can get the general themes. I think when I looked at, I've been looking at his cognitive health decline, I think for over 6 or 7 months ago, and we're seeing that play out now. More specific, or more recently, I should say, I looked at his chart for his astrology chart, and all these readings, if you want to scroll back, just do a search of the channel of Trump and you'll bring them all up. But I looked at his astrology, and we looked at the trial, around the trial. I think it was my solar, lunar or solar eclipse in April. So it probably would have been the lunar eclipse reading. And I did remark that we were going to see, because of asteroid Hygeia, which is concerned with our health, and I know it very, very well, because my Hygeia very much predicted the health issues I have in this lifetime, or it is in the mix anyway. It transiting Hygeia for him was in, I think it might have been very close to his Chiron. I can't remember what it was in that chart. But I did say you will see a lot of these health issues manifest at his trial and around the time of his trial. And this is what we're seeing. The latest is him stumbling over a lectern. He just doesn't seem to be able to get words out, and he's having moments of where he will not be able to speak. I think I saw one clip yesterday where there was just this long pause of dead air, pretty much like you would see with what happened with Mitch McConnell. So all these indications, falling asleep in the courtroom. Trump is a Gemini, and Geminis need to, that's why he talks with his hands so much. He needs to express himself. He needs to be the center of attention. He needs to command the communication, and in the courthouse he couldn't. He'd lost control. And so I think a lot of that sleeping was self-protective, but he's looking He's looking a bit done in, isn't he, lately? And why wouldn't he? His past, I believe, I've always said, is catching up to him. And I do believe this is a time of karma coming back, not the good type. But this is a time of Trump's downfall. And I've made that very, very clear. That 2024 would be a time of downfall. And again, that reading I did over Christmas and part of my New Year prediction. So they're all there if you want to go back and revisit them and test the accuracy of them. Now, today I want to look at this July 15th date, astrologically, where transiting Uranus, Mars conjunct. I mean, we'll all feel that conjunction as well, but it is over his 10th house of his career, his public persona, public reputation. Transiting Mars and Uranus is there. So we can expect something unpredictable in relation to his public persona, his reputation, perhaps squaring his natal Mars in the 12th house. Well, of course, the 12th house, let's pull the chart up, is the chart of, well, among other things, can be the chart of hidden enemies. So let's just share this screen for a minute. And where did I put that chart? Here, I think. Yeah. Now, what I've done here is I've cast the transits over Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Why on earth would I do that? Why wouldn't I go to wherever he's living in Miami, Florida, or you know, even New York? Well, I've done Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because oddly enough, that is where the Republicans are holding their national convention on July the 15th. So that's why I've cast that the way that is. Now, another possibility that something could happen between now and July 15th to Trump that causes a little bit of an uprising at that convention, something that he's not expecting, because let's just look at this conjunction up here. Mars conjunct Uranus and Algol. Oh my goodness. Algol, the death, destruction, the head of Medusa, the one that I keep talking about, is there in this mix, in this conjunction. What on earth is going on? And if we look down here into his 10th house, his natal Algol happens to be in Taurus. I mean, really, you can't make this stuff up. At the beginning of the year, or as long as Algol has been, well, it's a fixed star, so it doesn't move 1 degree every 72 years. This is sort of like, along with these potent conjunctions like Uranus and Mars, this is spelling or confirming the divination that I've done, clairvoyance and tarot, that this is the year of his downfall. So Algol, his natal Algol, is conjunct the transiting Uranus. What is Uranus? For those that want to learn a little bit about astrology, it is the unpredictable. Expect the unexpected. What is Mars? Mars, of course, is the warrior-like planet, passion, drive, literally can be the god of war. Aries, the god of war. And so we see here this volatile transiting conjunction really sitting on top of his 10th house with his own Algol in Taurus in the mix, conjunct Uranus, all square his natal Mars in the 12th house. The 12th house is the collective. The 12th house is a very spiritual house as well. He has Pluto in Leo in the 12th house as well. So Pluto is power. It is can be what's underneath. And so in this 12th house, I mean, by the time we get round the zodiac in the 12th house, we know we should have learnt those lessons. But this sort of natal chart of Trump's tells me that he was here for a specific reason, perhaps through embodying the corruption we've seen from him, exposing corruption at the same time. But this unpredictability over his own algol in the 10th house, North Node, purpose in this lifetime, Uranus, Sun conjunct here. You can see his explosive personality in Gemini. All of this is conjunct his natal Mars. And as I said, the 12th house is hidden enemies. So what's occurring around the 15th of July? Well, that brings me to the next equation, if you like. His natal Mars in the 12th house is conjunct here. This is tiny asteroid here, or is Eros. Eros can represent sexuality and fetishes, passions. Mars also can represent sexuality and passions as well. So there's a conjunction here in this 12th house. Now, this brings me, let me just stop the share. This brings me to I just want to really quickly go through some headline. The Guardian has been on the case for a long time now. In 2020, ran an article around Trump's years with the look ahead, or the look modeling contest. Remember, he ran a teen modeling agency, and he also hosted and was a judge on The Look, which was a major modeling, competition in those days. It has been surrounded now in accusations of well, first let's just orientate ourselves here. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. This is a tarot, spirituality, and astrology channel. So, but these are some of the issues that we try and do a divination on. So the Look modeling contest, the person that ran that, John Casablancas, he's now deceased, but has been tied up with allegations of sexual assault and rape. And we find out most recently via The Guardian that David Copperfield, the magician, has also been tied up in these sorts of allegations as well. Well, David Copperfield and Trump in the Look modeling contest years, they were both judges at the same time. So let's just have a look at some of these, if I can go through them quite quickly. Where do we want to start? Well, let's start with the Guardian in 2020, teen models, powerful men, and private dinners when Trump hosted The Look of the Year. That was the name of the contest. Okay, so let's go back here to what do we want here? Hang on, let's just stop that share and get rid of that there, and go back to some of these other headlines. There's one in particular I want you to see. Okay, so this is Copperfield here. He was on a yacht. Apparently they had a yacht where they would take these teen models and they would parade out in skimpy suits for the men, and that's Copperfield on the yacht. The year that he hosted that he was a judge at the modeling contest in the same year that Trump was. There's just one other I want to bring up here. Okay, so this is the one I want to sort of talk about a bit. Here's Trump. So we want to make it clear that no such allegations that were leveled at Casablancas, the organizer of the Look of the Year contest, and David Copperfield now, no such allegations have been leveled against Trump. I want to say that outright. So at the time, he was, according to The Guardian, he was dating Marla Maples, and she became his second wife in 1993. However, The Guardian says this: his close involvement in the contest raises questions for, at the time that this article was written, Trump was still, I think, the president. Yeah, must have been in 2020. Did he know that Casablancas and others were sleeping with contestants? Now, these models were under the age of consent. Why would a man in his 40s, pardon me, that's the head cold, whose main business was real estate development, want to host a beauty contest for teenage girls? So now we get to, all right, now we're going to get to the tarot. So I wanted to set the scene there for you for a few questions. Let's have some lemsip. Okay. First of all, let's go back to the astrology chart. Now it's getting hot in here. I've got the heater on, and it's warming this room up quite nicely. Let's go back to the astrology, July 15th. Why did I show you that chart and then look at those allegations? Because with Eros there conjunct his natal Mars, and with the Uranus and Mars and Algol in his 10th house, it's got to be something to do with his reputation. Also want to say in that chart, which I didn't mention, we have his health issues. When someone has a downfall, and I know this from bitter experience, my downfall, well, I don't know, maybe it was connected with, who knows, karma in this life, lessons needing to be learned. But it doesn't just happen in one. In my case, I should make it clear, I was clashing heads with a boss who was doing some pretty well. Anyway, less said about that. I was holding his feet to the flame, and eventually I had to leave a much loved position. And so whatever the downfall is, it generally takes in health, because stress and pressure are in the mix, can affect our health. We all know that. But in that chart, I do want to say that transiting Chiron in Aries is fairly close to his natal Hygeia in the 9th house. The 9th house in Aries. The 9th house is vision for the future. It can be law, LAW. It can be higher ideals. And so there's a weakness there with Trump. I think, I don't know, we all have free will, don't we? And so he is the sum of the decisions he's made in this lifetime. And so while it's not, well, I certainly don't personally like witnessing someone's downfall. This is a self, he's done that to himself. And so, yeah, it's the choices and the decisions we make. Okay, so let's have a look. July, this Uranus Algol, Mars conjunction, squaring his natal Mars, transiting Eros in the mix, all of what I've spoken about. There are some good things in that chart, but I'm more concerned with this feeling that I have. This feeling that I have that something is coming for Trump, and it's, even though we've thought we've seen everything, we haven't seen. The Magician can be manipulation, manifestation. I also want to say I'm not going to name anybody, but I've been talking to another psychic who is getting fairly strong draws around the look. Well, no, that was me, but just his involvement. We've been talking a lot about Epstein-Trump involvement, his modeling years. I think there was a reading which I backed off from, which I said there could have even been some trafficking type stuff. Yeah, I wonder, the psychic that I've been speaking to, who wishes to remain not anonymous, picked up some sort of connection with Copperfield, and that's why I've shown you those stories, just to say that we've seen pictures of Trump and Epstein. we've seen him, pictures of he and Melania, who I think was involved in that contest as well, or involved in some way in that modelling scene at the time. That's how we met her. Casablanca's, we've seen pictures. We've seen pictures of or the association of Trump and Copperfield at that event on that yacht where the models were parading. Trump has, I think it's around 25 accusations of inappropriate type of behaviour, sexual assault levelled at him. They're only allegations. However, he has been found liable for rape of E. Jean Carroll in a civil court, and now the current is court case that he's involved in election interference, campaign violations, involves hush money paid to a Playboy bunny and a porn star. So we kind of heiress sexuality, sexual fetishes, Mars in the mix there. That's why I'm showing you those photos, because after everything we've seen, I'm just posing some questions. These aren't allegations, just saying, okay, here we have a set of factual events that involve this person. Here we have an astrology chart that we know that in July something's coming, something's going to hit him. Let's see what it is. Is it his health issues manifesting? Is it conviction? Does the Republican Party in Wisconsin rebel against him? Because Wisconsin, he only garnered 79% of the vote. There was a big push for Nikki Haley in that state. The Republican National Convention being there. Does a section of that convention say we can't win this election? Is it abundantly clear by July that they can't and they want to choose somebody else? I don't know. There's a whole lot of possibilities. Let's go. What's coming? Oh, goodness gracious. What's coming up? Circles of support and the star. Interesting. So maybe not the convention, but we'll see. Okay, what's coming up in July for Trump? Let's just ask that question. July 15th or around July, what is coming up for Donald Trump, the ex-president of the United States, currently the candidate there? What's coming up for Trump? Okay, the Hierophant. So something around his court cases and the strength. Okay, so the strength of his of what he's facing in the courts, and so I would assume that, well, I've already read there's a conviction in New York for him. The Supreme Court may have ruled, I don't think they can do anything else but say he's not immune from prosecution. But it looks like it's to do with the courts. And then we get the Ace of Cups. Okay, so the seed of an emotional new start, overflowing emotions. Does he get a jail sentence in New York? Okay, a lot of partisanship, tug of wars, that's in the past. Okay, that's what fueled his rise, really, is this rank partisanship that he it's not even partisanship, it's a hybrid political type of movement here that is based on lies and cruelty and anger and vengeance and authoritarian tendencies. The Empress is crowning this reading, and so this is what I've said in the past, that I feel that something is out there. I thought it might be a video or somebody. I said there's Epstein tape still out there. And the psychic that I was talking to keeps getting a draw to something being out there. So hence this reading. Looks like it has to do with women as well. And then we get the star card, being hopeful. Understanding, and I want to make this point very, very strongly. When you lose hope, don't forget that we have divine timing in play. We have the lessons that we need to learn, the things we need to see, the things we need to experience in order for change to come about. And even though Pluto in Aquarius has brought a lot of corruption to the fore, and we're seeing it, don't despair that the ship cannot ride itself. I was talking to someone about my Putin predictions, Russian predictions, something big astrologically, according to many astrologists, is coming up for Russia in 2026. And so what might that be? The fall of Putin, the assassination of Putin. Some of my sometimes predictions can come true just like that, but at other times it takes time. So all right, let's see. What I'm saying is it's very possible Putin could have a downfall in maybe late 2025, 26. The Five of Swords here, abuse of power, sabotage, and again, the Queen of Pentacles. So he is, again, the IRS is investigating him for alleged tax fraud to the tune of 100 million. So much. He's just facing fraud, sex, crimes. Yeah, it just goes on. Okay, so there's something around his money. Now, the hopes and fears, the Magician comes up again. Okay, this is the David. According to the psychic I've been talking about, she keeps getting the Magician representing, she thinks, David Copperfield. All right, let's keep going. So we have the Three of Cups, circles of support, celebration, and illusion and delusion. So then we get back to Milwaukee again. His support is not, he takes it for granted, but look at what we've got. Isolation. Something's coming up for him. Could be between now and July the 15th, but that date when we've got those conjunctions may manifest in some Republicans speaking out in what he would see as disloyalty. But looks like there's something so big. So these are the cards underneath: the Tower, anxiety, victory, and the Sun. There's something big coming up for him, could be politically, but perhaps motivated by something that occurs between now and July the 15th. All right, let's take a look at his health. As I said, when you're having that downfall, then your health is always going to suffer. So let's just get a flavor there. Gemini, as I started to say, quick in the mind, needing to communicate inner, outer, like a spewing out of things. And I find it ironical that it is his cognitive decline. And if I can find that reading, I'll link it. I'll link it underneath this video, because I said I think it's cognitive decline. Let's have a look at his health. Show me Trump's health, please. Show me Trump's health. Oh, it's knife's edge. Again, he could back off. He could have backed off in trance. Okay, so entranced. These times when he becomes wordless, like Mitch McConnell, may increase, and maybe that's what happens in Milwaukee. I don't know. There's a heavy burden, heavy decisions, and then the Hanged Man pausing, suspend. Does he have to drop out for whatever the reason? Queen of Pentacles, domestic stability. I've also predicted that Melania asks for a divorce, and you have a presidential candidate that is that's wifeless. We have the Magician card in the back, in the past, and that's the David Copperfield card, according to the psychic I've been tic-tacking with. Have we got a connection between he and Copperfield? And the look of the year modeling contest, does that come out? And we think we've seen everything, but we haven't. Okay, the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups. Circles of support, drawing those in closer to him. And we have the Eight of Pentacles, an apprentice. Something occurring very quickly. That's Uranus energy. And then we get the commitment contracts, a love relationship here, secrets in the heart, hopes and fears. And so this brings me, and the Queen of Swords, logic, investigation, and the Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Swords, heartbreak. There's something connected with women. I asked about his health, but it's bringing that up. So it could be that Melania announces that she's had enough, or it could be that someone has evidence somewhere that comes forward. So we get a third woman, McDougall, Stormy Daniels. They spoke about affairs, but is this somebody from the look of the year days? Let's just test that theory. Look of the year. Okay. What is this? Is there somebody out there with evidence, a tape, whatever it might be? Is there somebody out there in New York, perhaps, that is going to come forward about the look years or any other time with sexual assault or other such allegations against Trump? Is there someone else? I'm seeing an eye. Okay, something was recorded, I feel, because I'm just seeing like a projector coming out of someone's eye. Somebody saw something, somebody recorded something. I get this all the time. I believe there's some sort of video or recording. Does somebody come forward with something to do with Trump? Something that might be viewed as you can't come back from that. We get the Hierophant, the Courts, and the Lovers. Okay, the Courts and the Lovers card, because that's the Gemini card. We get the Hanged Man pausing something. The Seven of Pentacles is in the past. That can point to money issues. And we have Temperance, the Temperance Angel. We get the Page of Pentacles, a younger person, Earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Definite money issues here. Something coming to fruition in time. And we get the Ten of Wands. Yeah, somebody carrying so much that they're just about to drop something. In the hopes and fears, we've got moving out of troubled waters, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So he's paid, what I feel, he's paid someone off for silence, perhaps when they were younger. And they're making a decision right now about whether or not they come out, because they can see more advantage in coming out now than staying within or staying silent. Or okay, so we see the Devil, greed. This is Eros type energy. I think it is something to do. There she is again, and there's a truth telling here. I think it is something to do with his past, to do with women. I think it's many things. I think his health is taking a tumble. I think more stuff comes out to do with women. And I think that the Republican convention, there might be very strong calls to move away in some way from him. I don't know. Or he might pull out of the race because of his health issues, which I think are quite serious in this cognitive decline. All right, one last question before I go, because I was incensed. The Supreme Court Judge Alito was found to have a Stop the Steal upside down American flag flying from his house at the time that the Stop the Steal election denial was on. He was ruling on these election denial cases. There are strong calls for him to step down, to come before, at the very least, to come before the Congress and explain himself. Let's see what's coming up. Okay, what's coming? I'm just going to say, there's Alito. I don't know how the Supreme Court comes back from this, but then I didn't know how they'd come back from Justice Thomas's wife actually helping to organise the January the 6th and fake elector schemes. In fact, she recommended John Eastman to Trump. Okay, so Alito, the Stop the Steal, my God. Okay, the Temperance Angel is turning up, moderation. Does Justice Alito Okay, what happens with Justice Alito? Show me what happens with Justice Alito. Page of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. I think there is more coming on this. I think one of the newspapers is probably the Washington Post. Someone is working on this. Juggling, manipulation. Nine of Wands is in the past. Boundaries. The Ace of Wands, a new start, a new movement. I think the Democrats are going to try and subpoena him. I think Durbin, Dick Turban or Durbin, he's been asked to, or there's been calls to bring Alito to the Congress to subpoena him. That's a pretty serious thing, but they could actually do it. There's the Temperance Angel, moderation. Moderation and balance is being called into question, and there are secrets being revealed here. This is in the present. This is, I think, flying the flag was the tip of the iceberg. Something else is there as well. Hopes and fears. There's I think there's a conversation with someone that maybe will emerge, and then we get the Hanged Man again. He might say, and the Three of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Three of Pentacles, that's the court itself, and we get the victory. The Ten of Pentacles. So I think what is coming for him is that he might have to recuse himself. That's where I think this is heading. Will he recuse himself from hearing anything on the... Okay, the subpoena is there as well. I think he will be subpoenaed. Will Alito have to recuse himself from hearing January the 6th, anything related? Knight of Cups, where am I? I'm located in the cult. Will Alito have to recuse himself? It's inevitable. It's inevitable. The wheel of fortune turning and abuse of power. I think he's going to recuse himself. I think he has to. I think that they will, that's the very least he should do. Let's see. I don't think he would give up his Supreme Court seat and be forced to resign, although that might come later. There's something else that's brewing with this. It's another story. It's a further investigation about a conversation he's had. There's something there beyond the flying of the flag. He will, I think, be subpoenaed, but I think he's going to have to recuse himself. So does he resign? Six of Swords, moving out of troubled waters and restriction. And the Ten of Swords, downfall. A lot of swords here. Death. And the Hierophant, the court, the end of the court, or not the end of the court, but yeah, he could eventually, maybe not soon enough, but he could eventually have to be forced to resign. So yet another. So I think there's a recusal there to begin with. I think there's a subpoena there, and ultimately, in the end, under the weight of evidence, there might be a recusal. Again, a lot of karma, a lot of Pluto in Aquarius. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. I'm going to finish my Lemsip and try and get rid of this head cold. Very annoying. I'm not sick, just frustrated that this is what the cold has produced, a cold. All right, bye for now. Thank you for stopping by.